today we're going to continue our unit on identifying the characters, the settings, and the events of a story. So who can tell me what even is a story? Anybody? Ace? Good job. It's just a person telling us about some events that happened. Well, what about the characters? What are the characters in the story? Chloe? Good job. So it could be a person or an animal or even a talking object, and it's just who the story's about, who is in that story. What about the setting? Jackson. Good job. It's where the story takes place. Now, can a story only have one setting, or can it have more than one setting? Yep, it can have as many settings as the author wants it to. Now, what about an illustration? What does illustrate mean? Amy? Yep, so you're just drawing a picture to support the writing or to support the story. So, who can tell me what story we read yesterday? The art lesson, that's right. And who can tell me a little bit about what happened in the art lesson? Emily? Good job. So Tommy wants to be an artist when he grows up, and he's really excited to go to school to have an art lesson. And so he gets to kindergarten, and they don't have art lessons in kindergarten. So then he's really excited for his first grade art lesson, but it doesn't quite go like he wanted it to. All right. So here's our vocabulary words, our character, events, the setting, the story, and to illustrate. So today we're going to revisit the art lesson, and I read it to you yesterday. So today we're going to watch a video of Miss Lisa reading it, and that'll give us sort of a different narrator to our story today, and it'll just be a little bit more exciting than if I was going to read it to you again. So today when we read, I want you to really focus on the characters, the setting, and the events, because we're going to talk about that afterwards. So let's watch the video. All right, so now that we've watched the video, let's talk a little bit. All right, so how would you all define the expository, or the exposition rather, and the beginning of a story? Can anybody define that? It's the exposition or the beginning? Connor. Yeah, it's the part of the story that introduces us to the characters, the setting, and the plot. It doesn't necessarily introduce us to all of the events, because that's what the rest of the story is for. What about the conclusion or the end? Can anybody give a definition to that? Carol? Yeah, it's how the problem of the story was solved. So we're going to talk about that in just a minute, but first let's talk about who the characters were. What are some of the characters? Tommy, Miss Bird, the other two teachers, yeah, his mom, his dad, his twin cousins who are in art school. Good job. And yep, all of his best friends. So those are all of our characters in the story. What about the setting? How many settings does the story have? It's got 2 settings. So who can give me one of them? Tommy's house. And what about the other one? The school. Good job. All right. So what is the problem in the story? What kind of problem does Tommy have? Yeah, he gets to school and has his art lesson in the 1st grade, but his teacher wants him to copy something. And his twin cousins in art school told him that, real artists never copy. And his teacher wouldn't let him use his box of 64 colorful crayons that he got for his birthday. He has to use the 8-pack of school crayons that only have really boring colors. Okay, so how was this story, or how's the problem resolved in the story? What happened? What did they agree to? Good job. So the teachers decided that if Tommy will do the assignment that the teachers want him to do and copy the Thanksgiving picture, then he can draw what he wants to draw. So next we're going to have a graphic organizer, and it'll look like this. And so we're going to identify 5 characters. Just 5. I know there's more than 5, but there's only 5 blanks. So that's how many we're going to identify. And then the settings. So we've got 2 settings we're going to identify. And then we've got the events. So there's a lot of stuff that happens in this lesson. Tommy goes to school. Kindergarten doesn't have an art lesson. In first grade, it doesn't go how he wants it to. So we're just going to pick 5 events. And then we're going to write those all on the lines. And then we're going to illustrate our pictures. So if this is one of your blocks on the graphic organizer, so we'll say that this is the events block. And so we come down here and we'll identify 5 events. So let's see. Oops, I spelled Tommy wrong. So Tommy goes to school and he wants to use his birthday crayons in art class. So you all will keep writing out 5 events. I'm only going to write these because then you'll do the rest. So then we're going to draw a picture to illustrate that. So I'm going to draw a picture of Tommy. Let's see. Little hand. Clearly I'm not an art teacher. So let's draw his little hand here. Let's give him some hair. Oh, I almost forgot his feet. He's got some big feet here. All right. So there's Tommy, and this is his box of crayons. Give it some color there. And you can make his shirt green. You can make his pants blue. Some blue jeans here. Maybe some cool orange shoes. Alright. So there's my illustration of Tommy with his box of crayons. So that's what you all are going to do with the graphic organizer. So you're going to list 5 characters, any 5 you want, as long as the main character is one of them, because you're going to illustrate the main character. Then you're going to identify the 2 settings and choose one of those to illustrate. And then you're going to identify 5 events, and you'll choose one of those to illustrate. So we're going to go back to our desks, and we're going to work independently. So this should be a quiet working time. So just raise your hands if you've got any questions or if you need any help, and I'm going to walk around and help you all as you work.